What's up, guys? Texans fan in rehab here, back with another recap of the week for the Houston Texans and what they've been doing transactionally and everything in between, man. So let's get to it, man. Hey, just want to touch on a couple of things. I'm gonna try to keep it brief, but listen, the Texans had the NFL schedule released this week, man. It's been all in the news, man. I know I posted it up a couple times, man. A couple key things to take away from the Texans schedule release is the fact that number one, no primetime games this year, at least none yet. End of the season, there's one game that's to be determined. I think it's week 18 against the Colts. That one hasn't been given a time frame yet, so there's a potential that that could be a primetime game, I guess, depending on where the team lines up, or maybe it's based off of the availability of the facility where the game is going to be at. But that'll be determined at a later date and time. And of course, with the schedules as the NFL has been doing things nowadays, man, as you get to the latter part of the season or maybe even towards the middle of the season, if your team is performing well, it's no doubt that they'll have opportunity to flex a game out, man. So, as of right now, the way things are lined up, the way things have come out on the schedule, the Texans don't have any primetime games. But I'm be honest with you, man, as a Texan fan in rehab, I don't really have a problem with that, man. The Texans have had some ups and downs, some topsy-turvy type of outcomes when it comes to primetime games, whether or not they're prepared or whether or not they're outmatched or outdueled, man. It's just not been the greatest performances that we've seen out of our squad, man, showing up in primetime games. So, historically, back when Kubiak was head coach, of course, we might have a few good outcomes, but I've seen more than enough terrible outcomes when it comes to primetime games where it seems like these guys aren't coached up or they weren't prepared in those moments. So thankfully those regimes are gone. We got a whole complete reset, and hopefully whenever primetime opportunities do come, D'Amico will have these guys coached up and they'll be ready to go. I think one thing that D'Amico definitely touched on, and I put this in the video that I mentioned earlier in the week when I did my schedule release video, that D'Amico basically is saying that we have to earn the opportunity to be on prime time. I think that's very key. So he's definitely recognized that this is something that it has to be earned, not given, and he's definitely going to do what needs to be done so that we can earn that time and be on that prime time schedule. So I'll definitely look forward to that, man. Another bit of news: the jersey releases were put out there this week by the Texans, man. So all the draftees and all the undrafted free agents got their jerseys to be recognized, what numbers that they picked out. That's a minor detail, but just to touch on a couple of them, of course, we had CJ Stroud with number 7, Tank Dell with number 13. Combine them, you got 713, baby. Will Anderson Jr. took 51. Juice Scruggs is 70. I mean, I could do this all day, but you could probably just check it out here. I'll probably post it up right here so you guys can see what the numbers are, if that matters to you. Outside of that, on Friday, the Texans started the rookie minicamps. Rookie minicamp is basically an opportunity for everybody to catch up to speed, get a little bit of input about how the flow of the game goes, what the speed is different, kind of get into the routines of just breaking away from calling out plays from the sideline with pictures and all kind of random stuff that they use at the college level, holding up fingers or whatever else that they do to call offensive plays and defensive plays. And so in this mode, you actually get the equipment involved where you're getting calls and signals. If you're the captain, if you got the green dot, you're getting the calls and signals through your helmet. You got to translate that vocally to your teammates so that they can hear it. They got to disseminate what they're seeing on the field and emotions and stuff. So it's basically like a glorified walkthrough in a lot of cases. Gives them an opportunity to kind of get some of those reps in, those basic reps that they're gonna have to get. The mini camp is not the full blown camp. Of course, you don't have a full roster, so you don't necessarily have all the positions filled. You just got the rookies. You know what I'm saying? So, but it is a good opportunity for the coaches to get some one-on-one time with these guys and in their groups, and for the fact that these are a lot of not necessarily new coaches, but coaches that are new to this team, and everybody is new to this situation. this definitely is critical for them to kind of jumpstart the team and the opportunity to get things going, man. So, I'll post up a couple clips about that. I don't want to get everybody too excited about it yet. It's just rookie minicamp. The real things that start to churn the engine will be when we get down to the actual training camp down the line, OTAs and stuff like that. So, but there are some things to glean to glean from this rookie minicamp. Number one, the fact that it looks like Juice Scruggs is getting the majority stake of the offensive snaps at center. So he gets to build a connection with CJ Stroud, and they get to work on their timing and things like that. That's important. It's going to be critical when it comes to the season, because that connection, if Juice does become the full-time center, that's going to be critical to the gameplay every week. How he blends in with the rest of his O-line, I don't think that'll really be too much of a problem, but definitely that connection between he and the quarterback and making sure that they're seeing the same things and calling out the same plays, coverages and whatnot is going to definitely be critical. So it's good that they have an opportunity to work on that in advance of getting to those additional reps that they'll get later on in the season. Every rep counts, man. I'm telling you, every rep counts when you get into these type of roles. Nuance is really a big deal. Outside of that, you can see the connection between Stroud and Tank Dell. I mean, there's a number of receivers and running backs that are here at the camp. Of course, it's going to be some camp bodies, so we already know that there's going to be some guys that are not going to make the team, but they're here. As a GM, as Nick Caserio has probably already, disclosed that they have to get bodies, they have to get guys that are going to show out to just, satisfy those reps. Give Tank Dell a break from time to time because he might, run low on juice or whatever. So you got to have bodies to fill in these reps, keep CJ Stroud throwing the rock or whatever. It's just, status quo at this point. But we don't expect that all of these guys are going to make it to the final roster. To 53 out of this mix, and you probably already have, close to 91 guys already, man. That's just the reality of the game, man. So it's all a business. I think a lot of these guys understand that, and it's no real big deal. But, just for, the fans' sake and expectation, those that you see right now are not those that you necessarily going to see when the season starts. So just, keep it real about that, man. Let's see. Outside of that, there was a couple of transactions that happened this week. The guard that we got from Tampa Bay in the offseason, Shaq Mason, he was extended by the team. I think that's a great deal. Basically, you solidify that you have, a solid offensive line. You definitely take any financial burdens off their mind, that they don't have to think about what's going to happen with the next contract. If I make a mistake, will I be, will I be re-signed in the coming year or whatever? That's critical, because what you want is, you definitely want some continuity between everybody that's on your line. If they're going to be protecting your $500 million asset in CJ Stroud, then you definitely want to make sure that the continuity on that offensive line is perfect. You want these guys to be calling out, on the same point when they're making their blocks and whatever else. You already know. So, these guys have done a great job by extending Shaq Mason. So you could tell that the Texans are definitely aggressive. But we added another Shaq. Who would have thought, man, in Texas we'd had another Shaq, man. I thought that we had enough Shaqs, with Shaq showing up representing all across the state as he does anyway. But Shaquille Griffin got signed just the other day, man. Cornerback who used to play for the Seattle Seahawks. I'm sure a lot of you guys know his brother was the linebacker who was the, I don't want to say amputee, but he was born with a birth defect where he didn't have a hand on one side. So, just so you guys will know who I'm referencing. But Shaquille Mason, excuse me. I'm sorry, Shaquille Griffin. There's too many Shaqs on the team, man, already. It's just two. Shaquille Griffin is definitely a capable cornerback. Too early to tell whether or not he's going to be, a body to represent on the team, or if he's going to be actually fighting to try to take over the position as a starter or just a backup. They signed him to a one-year deal, as they've been signing a lot of these free agents to one-year deals, so it's no surprise there. But, hey, man, listen, the Texans are still making moves, man. I mean, who would have ever thought it, man? Like, this is not the status quo for how the Texans have operated too much in the past, man, where you see all of these, acquisitions, and you still see, people, hell, you still see free agents that are coming to the team, man. Like this is definitely eye opening for me, man. I know looking back, I can see that there were a number of times in the franchise history where you wanted the Texans to be this type of this version of aggressive in the offseason. You wanted them to be a desired point of a location for a player to come to. I mean, this is totally different from what I've seen in the past, man, and that's a good thing. So let's see, touch on a couple other things if I can come off. I said Juice Drugs. Let's see, Will Anderson. Oh, I know what it is. I posted earlier in the week about this interview from the GM and coach, and I think that it's worth giving another look. It was definitely an eye-opening conversation between Nick Caserio, Coach Ryans, and then Chris Long on this podcast, man, and they kind of covered a lot of bases in 30 minutes. You kind of get to see the personality between Nick Caserio and Coach D'Amico Ryans, man. You kind of see how they kind of get along, if you will. It's kind of dope, man, to see that they're actually smiling and laughing together, whatever. I know that might not mean a whole lot to a lot of people, but it shows that they're on the same page as of now. What you definitely don't want to have happen is maybe like the contentious relationship, like what you might have saw between Rick Smith and Coach BLB, that clown back when he was here, man. So it's nice that even if it's just the start, even if it's just because it's the beginning, it's nice that these guys are on the same page. They're doing interviews together. It looks completely different, man. I mean, we even getting pictures of Cal McNair, man, showing up. He and his wife showing up, and they doing things, man. Throwing up the H and all kind of other stuff, man. Hell, Cal McNair just doing interviews, period, man, has been kind of dope because you get to hear it from the top dog down, man. So, it's a new day, man. It's a different outcome going on with the Texans, man. This is thrilling that we get to have this type of connection with the team again, man, where it's not this long suffering of information not coming out. Oh, unless you're the media, right? So the media was complaining this week because they haven't had the opportunity to talk to CJ Stroud and to Tank Dell and kind of just get a feel for them and ask them the deep, hard-hitting questions about how everything's been going with the training camp and how everything's been going with the connection between the two of them. Hey, I don't care if the interviews haven't been going down. As far as I'm concerned, what are you seeing on the field, man? I mean, we've had the opportunity for the media to get back there and actually supply us as YouTubers with clips of what we see. And, you can see it with your own two eyes, man. I mean, it's not a whole lot that they're running. They're not running as, 100 speed or whatever. But it's good to see that they're actually getting some reps in or whatnot like that. So it's too early in the game for us to be upset, really. I know as professionals for the media, and this is what they do as their job. They want to definitely get in there and ask those questions, and they want to open up those Christmas presents right away. But for the rest of us, man, we have a little bit more patience in this. We're not as completely invested in the opportunity to get the first word or the first crack of information from those guys. But when it does happen, man, it'll be dope, man. I look forward to it, man. So listen, that's pretty much all I want to touch on for this week, man. The week has been very productive. Things are moving hot and heavy, man. So definitely look forward to me getting another video out here soon. I'm going to be covering more topics and more situations. I'm trying to turn my shorts game up. You know what I'm saying? I don't know if a lot of y'all have been seeing it, but for those that have, man, thank you. For those that have been subscribing, thank you from the heart, man. I appreciate it. But for the rest of you guys, man, feel free to come back, check me out, man. Like, subscribe, share, man. I'm here, man. Chop it up with me. Hit me in the comment section. I love to do it with you, man. So look forward to seeing what's coming out for next week, man. Texans, I'm out.